Welcome back, and this is the session where Mr. Chetan Sharma and I will try to field the questions that you have put to us. Let's begin with the first question. This is Mr. S.K. Barua from Guwahati, who says, if one needs to complain about something that's shown on business channels, is it possible, and what's the procedure? Chetan, I'm absolutely at sea on that.
Well, as of now, there's nothing formal. I think all discipline has to be self-imposed. I earlier brought about the point that there has to be some hours mandatorily spent on investor education as well as addressing investor grievances.
Business channels are after all a part of the overall Indian television media or print media. Right. Do people have any other portion of the media, let's say current affairs channels? Well, do they have any such thing?
I think these are the ills of a free press in a democracy, and we all have to live with it. There are, of course, certain negatives and positives, and this perhaps is one of the negatives. But as we mature, don't forget we are a nascent industry even now.
So it's basically self-regulation.
It has to be self-regulation, all the more so in business channels, because we are dealing with very sensitive issues of people's money and their careers. Yeah. So there has to be a self-imposition for sure. And just to reiterate what I said, a lot of it can be done by SEBI or the I&B ministry, wherein certain mandatory hours are spent on addressing investor grievances. Okay. But this must, as I reiterate, must be sponsored by the government, because if you leave it to the channels by themselves, there will always be an argument that how do we make money? Those certain number of hours are we're being bereft of making money over there, and that's a problem.
So they'll have a problem. Right. Yeah. The next question we have is from Mr. R. Manvalan from Trichy. So many so-called foreign experts come on the business channels. Don't you think we should have a system whereby we know what their exposure and experience to talk about the stock market is? I mean, it's almost a leading question. It's not there, isn't it?
It's an extremely sensitive. I think it's a very, very valid question that comes to mind. We have cases wherein different people from the same organization come and give conflicting views, which is certainly not acceptable. So we hit upon that even a little before when we said that there has to be some certification of the organization A that goes via SEBI. The organization must have people, must be in the business for so many years, must have so many people working with them, must have anything that's...
But let us just say, I'm looking at the business channel's point of view. It's also tough, isn't it? Something significant has happened in the Dow overnight.
You don't get people to talk to. So what do
the Fed has changed its interest rates. It has to very quickly react, because people want to know how the market will react. So what does the business channel do? I mean, they're only, they can only talk to the top guy in Morgan Stanley or something,
That's not necessary. As I said, it doesn't have to be a Morgan Stanley. It can be any other organization that has just a limited number of years. We're not looking for the best opinion. First of all, remember that opinions don't necessarily have to be right. It can be personality
But it has to be authentic and authoritative, right? How do you pick these experts? I mean, how do channels, unless I'm asking you to share some proprietary secrets or something.
There's nothing secretive about it, because most of the people who come on one channel come on all of them. I think it's just a problem of too many channels chasing too few people. There's not too much of research done or attempt to try and get more people, because this understanding is that since this person has been on a particular channel for so many period of time, there is a familiarity, and he must be having some kind of
loyal track record, and he's sort of associated.
Not only that, he may be having loyal viewership.
After the business channels became so popular and so widespread, do you see a certain trading mentality developing among investors? In the good old days, people used to buy Hindustan Lever and just hold it. Today, everybody is thinking of buying at a particular level, selling at a particular level. Do you think the investor psyche has maybe changed to more towards trading because of the channels?
PN, honestly, I think that electronic media on business is by and large meant for traders. Because if you
trader, I want to stop you there.
Because if you have 9 hours, which one has to spend on a channel.
So you guys love volatility, don't you?
Well, we thrive on it.
We survive on volatility.
We thrive on it. I mean, we have no other choice. And if you ask me, what's the role of an anchor? Apart from information, it's also to entertain the viewer. Because we've got to keep him engaged. Don't forget, we've got to keep him engaged for 9 hours. That's a part of our duty. And how do we do it? I think in many ways, stock market channels are the best reality shows. They bring about real purpose, they bring about real investment, they bring about real value, they bring about real change in people's psychology. And it's not necessarily bad. Don't forget
and you can lose real money.
Not necessarily. Don't forget that trading greases the wheels. It brings a lot of money into the market.
I'm not against trading.
And also
trading produces liquidity.
Exactly.
Without liquidity, there's no stock market.
Exactly. And also, it's not necessary. What happens if you hold positions? I mean, how do you hedge yourselves? You see, issues.
But the fact that you're also, as an insider to this whole thing, you're sort of saying that the popularity of business channels has made trading a very big thing.
It has. It has taught people trading. I mean, apart from keeping your investments dead, it perhaps has taught you to trade and bring down the cost of that acquisition, of that investment. So it's also taught you a lot about mathematics of the market. And as I said, it's taught you a lot about psychology, which people tend to overlook.
A lot of charters,
discipline, yes.
A lot of statistical techniques.
A lot of statistical techniques. It's brought a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of interest
it's good or bad?
in the markets.
All this development is good or bad?
Which interest is this? There are two words.
No, I'm not talking about the business channel, about the market.
I personally, maybe I've got a bias, but I think it's very good.
The point that the business channels have introduced more volume, more trading, more activity, probably more volatility.
And more awareness.
More awareness is, at the end of the day, good for the market.
It certainly is.
Hope you enjoyed watching the show as much as Chetan and I did producing it.
Right.
Thank you very much for coming over. Until next week then, this is PN Vijay signing off from Bloomberg UTV Studios here in New Delhi.